My elders would always say, when you're worst and you're down and out, serve others. And it's through serving others that you can overcome. The responsibility that we were given as a family for being on this land, I found was more than just cultivating the soil and cultivating the earth. I'm just somebody who kind of finding my way in life, and then got introduced to farming through some friends, and started to heal myself to find my way through being introduced to the land from others and having that opportunity. At that time when we volunteered and said, yes, we'll open our farm and just mentor these young men, had to sit into an IEP meeting. Never heard of these before in my life. Sit down at a table, there's a whole group of people there, start to learn there's a process that's going on. And this was the first time I heard the words ADHD, ADD, alcohol fetal syndrome, and different things that were related to drugs and alcohol. Ended up working with these young men, and one of the young men is still involved in our life now, and he's in his 40s, and I get to see him have children. But the drugs and alcohol that he was introduced to affected him and still affects him for the rest of his life. It was not his choice. Although he did drugs and alcohol when he became a teenager, introduced through his own family, he was born with that condition already. Let me give you a couple examples of what they predicted. The divorce rate would go up. Juvenile delinquency would go up. Drug use and alcohol use would go up. Cultural detachment, all these negative impacts to family, to destruction within the home, to impacts on an individual level, to drugs and alcohol, homelessness. All of these things were predicted from detachment. When they constructed the H3 freeway up over here, the federal highway that connects the military bases on this island, it was proposed in the 1960s, was completed in the 1990s. They did several studies, from environmental studies to social economic studies on social impacts and economic impacts to the community of the proposed areas of the H3, so this freeway. And in this report, they were talking about what would happen to communities that were in the area of where land was going to be taken away. Access would be no longer. Cultural relationships to these areas would now be impacted. I mean, there's multi-layers of things that were going to happen because of the construction of this freeway. And that was what I would say was the cost of the freeway on a social impact level of an area that at one time was central to this community and the people of this area. Our youth and our families are in great need right now. Greater, this time that we're in now is like no other. Working with the kids and being fortunate to work with teachers and different doctors and therapists and counselors, you start to see patterns. Me, I'm just an observer of nature. Naturally, when I'm working with the kids and the families and stuff, you start to see patterns that arise. And one of the most important things that I saw was immersement with family, connection to land, being able to bring the families here and seeing the healing start with the child. Without love, without the addressing of trauma and acknowledging certain things in these individuals' lives that were blocking them from progressing, they were going to stay in that hole forever. I was taught by my kūpuna, you cannot battle these demons and these adversaries without spiritual help. And it became very clear that my relationship with the schools and those that we were working with, the land, was a tool in bringing balance back to these youth. Never considered myself a teacher, never considered myself a counselor or anything, just a willing person to serve those that need help. And that was one of the instructions that I was given by my elders for being on this land, is to always serve those that are in need. I feel like a horse behind the gate ready to run. Open that gate so we can go. give us the tools we all need to make it happen. Teachers try to make it happen. And without the support and acknowledgement from the admin and the BHS, we would rise, and then for some reason the program would fall apart. We are more than willing to try, if they're willing to try. And that would start our connection. We'll connect with the school, connect with the teacher. There's a handful that wanted to give it a shot. Admin sat in the meetings fully supportive. Teachers get into a position to be able to communicate their trials, their challenges, what they're going to need to succeed. And this has happened several times throughout the years. And I've been fortunate that kids have come to the farm in waves. And what I mean by that is Heavenly Father would usually send us a group of kids that were in a little bit deeper need. And our reach would extend a little bit further. They'll spend nights with us. We'll spend a lot more time with them. And they end up spending 5, 6, 7, 8 years with us and connecting with our family. And we call that hanai. Hanai is to nurture and to care for.